In this video, we're going to learn how to do a double fold hem. So I'm going to start by just making a couple markings because this will make my pressing easier. So I'm going to first go down, and just like with the clean finish, I'm going to go down, mark 1/2 inch, but I'm going to fold it only 1/4 inch over, and I'll help you see what that means. So if I fold this edge to the 1/2 inch mark, then I get a 1/4 inch fold, if that makes sense, right? So I'm going to do that, and then I am going to make another marking that will be, you can see it's going to be like a 1/4 inch more, so I'll mark 3/8 of an inch, or 3/4 of an inch, excuse me. So we'll go down 3/4 of an inch and make a couple more markings, and I can kind of just eyeball those lines if I need to, connect the dots, and I'll show you what we're going to do now. So I'm going to press everything. I'm going to go to the first line, that was my 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to press things. Obviously don't burn your fingers. Pressing up and down, it helps to finger press first. So I'll press that, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold this to my next line so that I have a double fold for my hem. Fold it to my next line, finger press it a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and press this, just going up and down, and I'm ready to sew my double fold hem. So then this would be like the bottom of pants or a skirt or a shirt or anything where everything is closed up nicely and nothing's going to fray, and it'll look really professional. So we're over at the sewing machine with our double fold hem sample, and we folded everything 1/4 of an inch and then 1/4 of an inch again. We're going to sew this, and as I sew, I just want to keep this edge of the fabric right here. I want to keep that as close, I want to sew as close to that edge as I can, right? I don't want to sew over on this left side because then my hem might kind of have a tendency to have like this other part hang underneath. So I want to sew as close to this right edge as possible so everything gets held in, okay? Instead of like that where it can kind of hang loose. If I sew over here, everything can be held in. So I'm going to line that up with, it's just going to be off to the right barely of the middle notch right here. So that notch tells me, let me zoom in for you. I don't know how well you can see that notch still. But this notch tells me that's where my sewing needle is, right? When it's in the regular middle position. So if I move this fabric just to the right of it, then I know that my needle is just going to be barely inside. So I'm going to start sewing there. And I will just sew. I'm going to pull my threads back. Pull my threads back, and then I'm going to go ahead and sew. So I'll just take a few stitches, and I want to be really careful as I'm sewing to make sure I'm just always on the right side of that notch. Go ahead and back stitch, and then I'm going to keep sewing. Careful not to let your sewing machine eat your fabric. And I just want to be on, I want this fold to be on the right side of that notch as I'm going. And I can watch my needle, like for a second it went off, so I'm just going to kind of guide my fabric more to the right because I saw that my fabric was going off a little. And then I can get back on track. Continue sewing down. Back stitch. Go forward 3. Lift up my presser foot. I'm going to trim my threads. So here's my double fold hem. You can see right here I got kind of close to the edge, and I just kind of course corrected, and that's totally fine. Try and keep it as neat as you can, but it's just right along the edge. You can see it's just right along the edge, so it holds everything together, and this part of the hem isn't going to unfold and come down or hang weird. So that's that sample.